Hey everybody, so this is a video that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's basically I'm just going to put out there which teams I root for, which teams I don't, and which teams I have no strong opinion towards. I've wanted to do this video really since I started this channel, but I knew that the summer would be a good time to do it once there wasn't as much going on. So I'm going to do it now. Before we get started, I just want to say if you're not yet a subscriber to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. There's something here for everyone. As long as you like the NHL and you like hockey, there are videos here for you. So if you're not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and follow this channel. Now, I'm just going to, I have a like area, a dislike area, and no opinion in the middle. That's where I figure where most teams are going to fall. But I'm just gonna go division by division and tell you whether I like them, have no opinion, or if I don't like them. Now, before we get started, my team. I am a Boston Bruins fan. I'm from Massachusetts. I live in Massachusetts. Boston is my team, and they will always be my #1 team. So that never changes. Another thing that never changes is on the dislike side. Obviously, I'm a Bruins fan, which means Montreal goes #1 on the dislike side, and that will never change. I hate the Canadiens. I will always hate the Canadiens because that's what you do when you're a Bruins fan. So those two will never change. Everything else is completely possible to change. It just goes by, who's on the team, how does that team play, what style of play do they have, and do I like that style? Do I not? Do I like the players? Do I not? That's pretty much how it goes, and the rest of it is all has the ability to move around. Some teams, teams I liked 10 years ago, I probably don't anymore because the players are all different and I don't like the new players, or whatever the reason. It's constantly changing. So right now, this is me right now. The only two constants are Boston in the like category and Montreal in the dislike category. Tampa Bay goes in the like category. I'll add them there. I really like Tampa Bay. I think they've built a great team. I like Steven Stamkos. I like Nikita Kucherov, Victor Hedman. Seeing them in Boston go at it last season in the regular season and then in the playoffs was awesome. Two teams I like a lot played really exciting hockey against each other. Big fan there. Toronto, they go in the no opinion. I know they're division rivals and pretty strong rivals with the Bruins, so you'd expect them to be in the dislike. But I don't have anything against Toronto at this point. I like Austin Matthews a lot. They're certainly not one of my favorite teams, but I don't really hate them either, so they go in the middle with the no opinion. Florida I like, mostly because they led the league in fights last year. Florida is a very tough team. They play the kind of hockey that I like to watch. I love when the Bruins and Panthers play each other because it's usually a really physical, nasty game, and I'm a big fan of that kind of hockey. So Florida goes in the like category. Detroit's been in the dislike category for forever. I've never been a Red Wings fan. They go over here. I do not like the Red Wings. Ottawa, no strong opinion. They're not even relevant enough for me to care at this point. They're going to be fighting for the #1 overall pick next year, not a playoff spot. So Ottawa, no strong opinion. Buffalo, also no strong opinion. There have been times I've really hated Buffalo, and there have been times I've really liked Buffalo. Right now, they're in the middle. I don't really care either way. Over the Metropolitan Division, Washington used to be in the like category, but they've kind of drifted down into the no opinion category. I got sick of watching them choke in the playoffs, and that really pissed me off year after year after year. Obviously, they didn't do that last year. They won the cup. I'm glad. I really like Alex Ovechkin, so I'm glad that he finally got a cup. I'm a big Tom Wilson fan. Again, he fits the style of play that I really enjoy watching. So Washington does have some good things. They've also had some bad things. So they're in the middle with no opinion. Pittsburgh, I hate Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh and Montreal are by far my two least favorite teams, with Chicago being third, and I'll get to them later. Yeah, Pittsburgh goes in the dislike. I just can't stand the Penguins, mostly because of Sidney Crosby. Philadelphia goes in the like. I've always been a fan of Philly because they generally have pretty tough teams, so I like watching Philly a lot. Columbus, I just don't care. They go in the middle. New Jersey goes in the middle. I'll add both of them there. I really couldn't care less. Carolina in the middle, doesn't matter. Islanders in the middle. Rangers. The Rangers have been in the dislike side for a long, long time, but I'm starting to not hate them as much, especially now that Alain Vigneault is not the coach. So I think the Rangers have worked their way from the dislike side up to the no opinion. So obviously most of the Metro Division is in this no opinion. Most teams in general are going to end up in this no opinion. But moving over to the Western Conference now, Nashville I like a lot. I'm a big Nashville fan. They go in the like side for sure. As does Winnipeg. Winnipeg, I really grew to like Winnipeg last year. I'm a big fan of theirs after watching them a lot last year and then seeing them make their playoff run. I've become a pretty big Winnipeg fan. Minnesota goes in the middle. No strong opinion there. Colorado goes in the middle. St. Louis I like. I've liked the Blues for years now, mostly when they beat Chicago, which wasn't all that often for most of the last 10 years, but I've liked the Blues for a while now. Dallas is in the middle. There are definitely some players I like, some that I don't. Chicago, I said before, I absolutely hate. I hated them during their cup years. I still hate them now. They've been a very soft team for like the last 10 years now, always near the bottom of the league in fights. I think they're one of the most boring teams to watch, and I hate that they get so many national TV games because I just don't want to watch it when Chicago's on. They're incredibly boring and incredibly soft. Lastly, the Pacific Division now, Vegas. Vegas goes in the like category a lot. Vegas has become my second favorite team in the league. I loved what they did last year. I loved watching them, and they have absolutely become one of my favorite teams. Anaheim was on the like side for a long time. I really liked Anaheim for a while. Now they've moved over to the middle in the no opinion. I still like some of their players a lot, but they're not as tough as they used to be, and a lot of the players there that I really liked aren't there anymore. So, I'd have to say my favorite Duck left now is Josh Manson. San Jose has always drifted between the dislike, over the last few years. Have drifted between the dislike and no opinion. I'm going to put them on the dislike. I know my friend Seth is not going to be happy about this because he's a pretty big Sharks fan. He likes the Sharks a lot. I don't, because they've been really soft. They don't have much toughness in the lineup. So I've found them to be very boring to watch, and that makes me not like them or want to watch them very often. Los Angeles goes in the middle. I don't care really either way. They used to be on the like side, but they've drifted to the middle over the last few years. Calgary's in the middle, but they're certainly a team that I will root for, in a playoff series, as long as it's not against a team that I really like. But Calgary's in the middle with leaning towards the like side. Edmonton, they're in the middle. I like some things about them, especially Connor McDavid. I don't like other things. Vancouver obviously was in the dislike side for a long time after the 2011 Stanley Cup Final against Boston. Vancouver was right up there with Montreal as far as teams I absolutely hated after that series. They've been irrelevant now for a few years and in a rebuilding stage, so they've drifted back to the middle. Most of those players aren't even there anymore. That really pissed me off. Kessler's in Anaheim now. Alex Burrows just retired. Dale Weiss isn't there anymore. Like, a lot of those guys aren't even there anymore. And then Arizona also in the middle. No strong feelings either way with Arizona. So that is all 31 teams, I believe. As you can see, there aren't many teams that I really don't like. Montreal, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Chicago, and San Jose are really the only ones I have strong feelings against. For various different reasons. I do like quite a few teams. Boston is my favorite by far. And then I'd say Vegas is probably number 2. Nashville is probably 3. Then Winnipeg, then St. Louis, and then back to the Eastern Conference for Tampa Bay, Florida, and Philly. But I like all those teams, and as long as, if these teams are playing any of these teams, then I'll be rooting for these guys. And then obviously most teams I have no strong opinion towards, for or against. They end up in the middle. That's most of the league. They haven't done anything to make me not like them, but they're not a team that I cheer for either. Now, when I'm doing videos for this channel and stuff, I obviously try to be as objective as possible. I don't want this to affect the way that I talk about a team or cover a team. This is just my personal opinion. When I'm watching games, these are the teams and how I feel about them. And I try to be as objective as possible on this channel and not let this creep into that. But I thought it would be fun for you guys to know, which teams I like, which I don't, and which ones are in the middle. And this is where it stands right now. Again, everything is fluid except for Boston in the like category and Montreal in the dislike. Those are constant and will always be there. Number 1, that never changes. But the rest of these can all, over time, can change. Like Buffalo, when Jason Pominville, Ryan Miller, Derek Roy, in the mid-2000s, when Buffalo really had that surge and was a playoff team and was had some really good years, had a lot of good young talent. Max Afinogenov, like that era, Chris Drury, the mid-2000s era, Buffalo was one of my favorite teams. Now, Buffalo's drifted towards the middle, and I really don't care that much for them. Not for them, I don't care that much about them. Like, they can go either way. There was a time a few years ago where Buffalo was over here when they really started feuding with the Bruins again. And that was great to watch. I was so happy when that rivalry really kicked up again and got downright nasty. But because I'm a Bruins fan, they were over here. Now they're back to the middle. So again, this is fluid, for pretty much everybody except for Boston and Montreal. So it really depends on who's on the team and the style of play that they play. If they're a fun team to watch, or if they're a tough team, I'm probably going to like them. If they're a boring team, or if they're soft, I'm not going to like them. So, that's just my opinion on teams in the league and where I stand as far as being a fan of them. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are in the description below. Keep this channel growing. Keep spreading the word about it. The more subscribers, the better. And thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.